G'day guys, welcome to the first weekly Q&A with Jacob Schepis,
Lyndon, Purcell.
And today we've got a couple of questions that we're going to answer. We're going to be uploading these onto our YouTube channel and then obviously sharing them on the Facebook page. So we encourage you guys to comment below today with any questions you'd like us to answer next week. So first question, Lyndon, from
Tanya Cale.
What do we got?
How do refeed days work? Why doesn't the refeed cancel out the rest of the week's calorie deficit?
That's a really good question. I'd start by saying that a refeed has two purposes, and the first one is psychological. It can obviously make dieting a bit easier and give people a break from the stringency of a calorie deficit by increasing their food and carb intake. The second purpose is physiological, where things get a little bit tricky and there's a little bit of grey area, which will answer the second part of Tanya's question. Do you want to talk about that, Lyndon?
Yeah, so why doesn't it cancel out the rest of the week's calorie deficit? So it can, that's the thing. Like, it's basically, it comes back to maths and thermodynamics. If you are creating, say, a 200 calorie deficit 6 days a week, and then you move into surplus. A 200 calorie surplus, you're still in, for 1 day of the week, you're still in a 1,000 calorie deficit for the entire week. And that's the thing is with refeeds, you don't even have to move into a surplus. You can just move back to maintenance.
Yep.
Or it may even just be still a deficit, just a reduced deficit. So as Jacob said, like basically refeed days work just to have a break from more strict dieting. And yeah, with increased carbs and calories comes increased performance. However, that comes with the trade-off with reduced fat loss.
Correct. So one of the things that we need to remember with a refeed is that it depends on the time frame that we are having the refeed. So to define what a refeed is, everybody has a different definition, and I think Lyndon would agree with that. Some people see a refeed as a cheat meal, and they go out and they have a meal that they don't even track or quantify. That is not the typical refeed in the sense that's more of a break from the diet, and that can bring with it a complete disregard to being accurate and creating the calorie deficit. So you can almost wipe out your entire week's calorie deficit if you're engaging in that practice. Now, a refeed in the typical sense is a structured, deliberately implemented increase in calories and carbohydrates, typically to your new maintenance calories. So you shouldn't even be moving into a surplus. You should just be not having a deficit on the days that you refeed. And obviously the psychological benefits are what we spoke about earlier, but the physiological benefits really don't come from a 24-hour refeed or one meal being a refeed. To see the physiological improvements in terms of reversing some of the adaptations that occur when we diet, such as decreased leptin production, which increases hunger, lethargy, everything that comes with dieting, decreased performance, and all the rest of it. When you refeed for 48 hours, 72 hours, studies have shown that that's when you can potentially see some of those adaptations slowly being reversed, but it really takes a week or 2 weeks out of a calorie deficit to reverse the adaptations from dieting. So it's important to understand that there's no real magic to a refeed. It just gives you a psychological break that can potentially improve your adherence long term and improve the longevity of the diet, which ultimately is the goal for fat loss, time to calorie deficit. And I think we've pretty much covered.
Yeah, I would just say like when people tend to or have now started to associate refeeds with whenever they're dieting. But like say if Jacob's doing a mini cut or something in between larger massing phases or weight gaining phases, like just to trim some body fat, refeeds probably aren't necessarily there. Like if you just want to go for a hard diet for 6 weeks, refeeding every week will set you back.
Yeah.
However, if you're someone with a fair bit of weight to lose and you're going to be dieting for 12, 15, potentially 20 months, you definitely do need to incorporate times when you're not dieting.
It's one of which is a factor.
Yeah, one of which is a refeed and diet breaks, which we've touched on in other videos.
Yeah, and quick note on that, if you are at a really high body fat percentage, as Lyndon said, you probably don't need a refeed. Just linear dieting will serve you really well. A refeed can become more beneficial, as we've mentioned, the longer you diet, And so when you get into the deeper stages of your diet, and obviously the leaner you get, it can be more beneficial to have multiple refeeds within a week, cycling your calories in that sense. But the goal should never be with a refeed to have a calorie surplus unless you're deliberately trying to maintain or gain weight. If you're trying to lose fat, your refeed should bring your calories to your new maintenance. So there's no additional weight gain, fat gain per se.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the first question. Guys, we hope that answer was sufficient to your question, Tanya. Please like the video, and we'll see you guys next time on our next Q&A.